This is our kingdom, but now we're here to take it back.
There you go. Snow White stars Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot, and it tells the tale of, well, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. You know how this story goes. It comes in at an hour and 49 minutes, and, well, it's got some pacing issues is my initial response, but we'll get into that as we break this movie down. A princess joins forces with seven dwarves to liberate her kingdom from her cruel stepmother, the evil queen. A live act, yeah, well, you know this is a live action adaptation, you know that, from Mark Webb, starring Rachel Zegler, Gal Gadot, Andrew Burnap. Oh, okay. Is he the token stud in this movie? You know, the prince? I don't know. Guys, this is a kid's movie. If you don't know that, you need to know that going into this movie. It's told in a very fairy tale style. It's got that kind of pacing to it. But because it's an hour and 49 minutes, they drag out a few things where it's like, okay, just get on with it. And then by the time it comes around to the full circle of, okay, we know that she's going to get the apple, but we're like an hour and 40 minutes into it, bro. Come on, get to it. It's like, okay. And I do think that runtime is going to come back to hurt it. That is my main criticism of this film. It's got okay acting. Yes, Gal Gadot's fine. She can sing. I was happy to see that. And she is menacing. All of those complaints that you may have heard before this film about, well, she's so beautiful, and why would she be angry at Snow White, who's not as beautiful? Well, that's the whole point of the movie. That's the whole point of Snow White, right? Of that story. So, yes, Gal Gadot is pretty, but she's also jealous of everything else that could possibly rival her, and there's no end to it. I wish the story had a little bit more of an adult theme to it, where we could have explored some of that jealousy and stuff like that. But this is a fairy tale. This is meant for kids. It's got fluffy little wooden animals from the woods in here. That it is a fairly faithful adaptation of the Disney story, not the original story where the huntsman cuts out the heart of like the pig or whatever. It's not like that or anything like that. It's very, very PG. I think kids will like this. I think if you didn't hear any of the controversies with Rachel Zegler before this, you're going to find this is a passable movie. It's not a terrible movie. However, it's not one that I'll be rushing back to go see. Out of all the adaptations of the live action ones so far, I still think Little Mermaid is my favorite because Melissa McCarthy, and it's just, wow. But also Gal Gadot did a good job here as far as the evil queens go. So let's address the elephant in the room, because I know this is going to be on the topic of everybody's thoughts. Yes, Rachel Zegler came out before the film started and said, no, this is going to be a new Snow White. It's going to triumph all these social justice values, and people got up in arms and said, well, that's not what Snow White's about and stuff like that. I have no problem with you voicing those opinions. I really don't. But if you build your audience around that, then they're going to expect you to come out and say that this movie was terrible afterwards. I can't tell you that it's terrible. It's not memorable, but you see the reaction now is kind of like, well, a total fail. And you go to watch their page and they've got a handful, at least 5 or 6 videos of them. Rachel Zegler said this. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, look at these dwarves. It's bad. Well, James, you also made a video about how bad the CG dwarves looked, and I'll own that, and I will attest, and I'll tell you straight up right now, the dwarves in this look a little bit creepy at times, especially the dumb Droopy or whatever, very Mad Magazine looking, it takes a little while to get used to, but by the end of the movie, you'd be like, okay, I accept them as they are. It is what it is. There's no getting rid of remember those images that we saw of like these, what we thought were the seven dwarfs? No, those were the bandits. They were not the seven dwarfs. Like we thought that they were going to change some of the genders of the dwarves and stuff. Like, no, that's not in this movie. There's nothing like that. There's no message out there saying that you got to have inclusion and all this stuff. It's not in this, guys. It's not in this. I know some people would like it to have been, so that they can get up on their little pulpits and start yelling and screaming and pulling their hair out. And to that, I don't like that, because it's a self-defeating exercise. So I think a few people will be a little deflated with that, but let's get into the score sheet here and try to put in some numbers, and then we'll take a look at what other people are saying at the tomato meter. So if you don't know how this works, acting, directing, and story are out of a possible 2 points each. Cinematography and score are out of 1 point. So acting, serviceable, straight across the board. Rachel Zegler is good, but it's got like that cartoony kind of acting to it. You don't really... There's a few scenes that perhaps she gets to push a little bit with emotion. Like, you buy her as Snow White. I did. They explained why she looks the way she looks, and like they had to address that. They do give you that in the story. Directing from Mark Webb. The technical aspects, it's well framed, it's well shot, but the CG mix, I just don't know why you couldn't hire normal dwarves. Maybe it's because it would have taken it out of the fantastical feel. The story is pretty straightforward. They do make some changes towards the end where they try to, well, remember how it ends in the Disney version, the cartoon version. This one, they do change it up, so they try to update that, how it all happens. I mean, it still happens. Like, the queen still gets her comeuppance. It's just like, how does it happen, right? They try to update that message. And I was looking for any little thing that could be used by those people out there. They hate people out there. The rage machine, if you will. And I'm sure they're probably still going to try to find little grains of here and there to be like, but if you were like that before, then why did you go watch the movie? I know it's content. I know you drive content, but let's not go down that rabbit hole, guys. It's not worth it. It's not worth letting hate consume you like that. Cinematography, though. Cinematography, there's a lot of CG. There is. But when we're framing Gal Gadot and Rachel Zegler, like you saw in the trailers there, it looked crisp. It looked sharp. It looked good up on the big AVX screen. I wouldn't say you need to see this in IMAX, but it looked good. And for that, I'll say 1. And as far as the score, guys, I found myself whistling, humming hi-ho after this. So we're sitting at 5 out of 10 as of now. I would say let's go over to the tomato meter and try to get a reading here as to what people are saying as of Friday morning here. And 46% with 156 reviews. See, well, that's about where we're sitting right now. And I haven't put in my final scores yet. But I think the audience scores will be higher for this one. There is going to be a large push from some pundits out there that will be like poo-pooing over absolutely every little critique. They'll say, well, the dwarves don't look good, so the entire movie stinks. So it's like, well, okay, if that's what you want to say. But as I said, I'm trying to look for a measured response here to all of this. I'm acknowledging all of this stuff. But I'm also going to tell you that it does have the components of a movie that is cohesive, right? Kyle Smith, gloss prevails over heart in nearly every scene and plot beats feel contrived. Well, it's meant for kids. It's a fairy tale, guys. I don't know why you were expecting Shakespeare here from Snow White. Okay. It's too cheesy, too over the top, too visually flat, while brimming over with hyperactive theater kid energy that's better suited for a Disney princess cruise ship show. Well, that just goes back to what I was saying, that this is a kids movie, guys. I don't understand what you were expecting. I was expecting kids all the way, like kids mentality, kids cartoony, but with live action actors. I don't know why you were thinking that maybe this was also going to be something that, adults would be like, oh yeah, this is something that I could watch on repeat. But James, other films have done that. They've been able to do that. Well, that's not this film, guys. You got to look at it from this perspective. Like, look at each case with its own merits. And when you say that I wanted it to be something else than it was, because of other films, then I think you're doing, you're not looking at it with the right lens. But that's just my opinion. Let's go back to the tomato meter here and take a look at, they do have some audience reviews. Okay, so 5 out of 5. The movie was amazing. My family loved it. And yes, this is going to be a family-friendly movie. Families will enjoy this. I think, here it is. If you're an adult and you've seen Snow White before and you're like, okay, well, I want to take my kids out to the movies this weekend, you're going to have a decent family experience. Will some of the adults be like rolling their eyes at points, just kind of like, come on, get on with it now. Please, come on, we know where this is going. Remember, the kids don't know where this is going, and part of the joy of the family experience is that you'll see your kids going, oh, I like this. Don't eat the apple, and it's like, okay, give that to them. Why not? What's wrong in that, right? That's the way I would look at it. Okay, so some audience member who didn't like it. The storyline is very different and don't care for all the singing. Well, unfortunately, the first Disney Snow White was chock full of singing, so I don't know what you're smoking or expecting. This is not the quality I'm used to from Disney. Well, Rachel Zegler is a good singer, and oddly, Gal Gadot is also a good singer. Beautiful movie, but the ending has changed. Yes, the ending has changed. But as I said, the evil queen still gets her comeuppance, so expect that. If you like musical movies, then this is for you. I didn't like it all too much. Singing every minute. Yeah, it's heavy and singing. Lots of singing. You have Rachel Zegler. She's known for singing. Why would you not want to showcase that? I would. Let's go back to the critics here. Let's see if we can find somebody who did like it. Maybe someone of a little bit higher notoriety. Stuff the quick glances here. All right, I guess we won't. Overall, Snow White is an enchanting musical with an empowering message to stand with your people against a vain, evil tyrant. Well, that's what the original movie was about too, right? No, James. It was about, actually, what was the original movie? It was still pretty much the same thing, that she was being persecuted and the evil queen took over the kingdom. So it's still about the same thing. It's just told with a little more of an updated view on it. And I got no problem with that. Snow White becomes voluntarily the princess bride of the 21st century. Its structure, characters, sense of humor, justice, and romance all refer to the cult film by Rob Reiner. Now, the romance, I would say, was probably the weakest part in this, because he can't really, well, I guess he could still have some romance in there, but I would say that's the weakest part. There's just no chemistry between her and the token stud that saves her. Well, she did, like, kisses her, right? That happens in this movie, guys. It's Snow White. Let's see if I can find an image of him here in the trailer. It is what it is. It's one that I'm not going to gripe too much over. Let's wrap it up then, James. Let's wrap up this score sheet, and then we'll get into what box office projections are going to be, because I do want to address that. Watchability. As I said, if you want to take your kids to it, and if you're curious to see how this is different from the original, check it out. If you want to hate on it, if you want to waste $17 of your own money to go to this and say, I saw it and now I have the right to hate on it all the way I want. And it's like, okay, fine. Hey, if you want to waste $17 of your own money, have at it, Hot. You're just helping the movie rake in revenue. If you want to be naive and ignorant and say you want to hate the movie anyway without even seeing it, Well, then I don't have much to say to you. 6 out of 10. I would be stretching to try to make that 6.5. And I think that's... But I do like Gal Gadot. Yeah. You know what? But because of some of the actors are... it's so hard. 6.5. There it is. Because of Gal Gadot and the collective singing abilities of Rachel Zegler. I do like her. She's a good actress, guys. There's not a scene in here where you'll see her say something and you'll be like turning up your nose to it. There's nothing like that. And this is a very generous 6.5 out of 10 for Snow White. All right, let's go over to the box office projections because I do want to address this for the Thursday night previews. It's got 3.5 million. Now, remember, most movies that do really well are usually around the 7 to 12 million on Thursday night previews. 3.5 is about mid. I mean, not every movie is going to be like 35 million on Thursday night, like Deadpool and Wolverine, right? And because this movie does have that baggage, it's going to have some trepidation, but this is a family-friendly movie. Kids are going to be like, okay, I want to see it because it's got big colors and I like, Disney movies, and hopefully families will enjoy it. It's targeting 100 million with its debut. What's the budget? Around 209 million. I think it's going to have a little bit of a struggle getting there. I think it will. Gal Gadot is the evil queen and your hag. The hag scenes were interesting, though. I did like that. But her costume, it worked for me. Okay, so those are my thoughts for Snow White. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below and we will talk about it. Hey, if you want to hate on it and you want to hate me for having a measured response, let's see if we can duke it out in the comments section below. But if you're just going to say, oh, you are giving this a fair chance, I'm going to give you a thumb down, and you're going to spew some nonsense, I'll just block you. This is just one of those movies that's going to have that big bandwagon coming around to every channel saying, yes, thumbs up if you hated it as much as I did. If you say that you sort of liked it, then it's thumbs down and we're going to flame you. Bring it on, man. That's what I say. All right. You're watching Mirror Domains. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.